was just gonna wing it. Well, welcome to my channel. Today I am showing you an evening in my life. I'll be showing you some of my healthy habits as we get into the new year. This is not one of them. This is just, you know, I opened the bottle on December 26th and it's gonna expire in a week, so you know, you have to do what you have to do. But other than that aforementioned, I will just be taking you along with some of my evening habits, and I might talk a little bit about my resolutions, how I set them, how I keep them balanced. If that sounds interesting to you, then please do stay. And yeah, let's continue on. Let's talk resolutions, shall we? We shall. Okay, allow me to pull up my Notion. I should make it a little bit easier to find for myself. To start, when I make New Year's resolutions, I tend to build off of the goals that I had the prior year. Or to just think about, if you didn't have anything specific, just what went well in the prior year, what didn't go so well, envisioning what you want your next year to look like, just in general, and what goals maybe set you on that path. But anyways, so for my 2025 goals, last year's goals, I had meditate twice a day, which I did. I did that every day. I had make a new friend, which I'm not sure if I did that. Maybe I did. I might have. Anyways, spend more time on hobbies. Did I do that? I would say I got a little bit better with that. I think I read more in 2025 than I had in the prior year. I think I exercised more. Okay, next I had limit phone time. I did and didn't do this. Like, I set limits on my apps like Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. Sometimes I listened to them, but sometimes I ignored them. So, you know, could have been better, could have been worse. I had read more, specifically, which I did do. I had expand knowledge in free time. I don't know that I really did that. I probably learned a few things, but yeah, I don't feel highly knowledgeable. Okay, I had be optimistic rather than pessimistic. I have to say, so I didn't break these goals into like more tangible and intangible goals like maybe I should have. I would say I probably did worse on my intangible goals. So to back up for a second, I do, at least in my mind, I like to separate my goals into tangible goals and intangible goals, because I usually have goals in both of these categories. So tangible would be like anything that you can really keep track of, something that you can check off a list or check the box if you've done it. So like lifting twice a week, like I can say for sure whether I did that or not. An intangible goal, like be optimistic rather than pessimistic, you know, that's hard to check off a list because, you know, maybe I got a little better with that, maybe I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just, oh, I was just gonna say, in general, I think I kind of lost sight of my intangible goals last year for 2025. Like I didn't have them at the front of my mind like I would have liked to. So a lot of these intangible goals from 2025 are gonna move into 2026 for me. Anyways, moving on. Romanticize life / casual magic. Again, like that really wasn't at the forefront of my mind like I would have liked it to be. I think I did fine with this. I think I'm decent at appreciating little things, but definitely room to improve there. Okay, I had consistent strength routine, which I did do. I got into a solid routine of lifting basically minimum twice a week, I would say, whereas before I really wasn't doing that at all. Man, this really goes on for a while, doesn't it? Independence and confidence, another intangible goal. Wasn't thinking about it too much. Swim race, did I do that? I did not do that. I did that the year before, but we did not end up doing that in 2025. Be more decisive, that has been on my list of goals basically my whole life, and I have yet to check that off. Post on YouTube channel, question mark, I did do that, so that's something. And then I had audition for Survivor, which I did not do. And I really go back and forth with that goal. I've had that on lists before, and sometimes I think I have to do it. Like, it'll be my greatest regret if I don't audition for Survivor. But sometimes I think that that situation would be my worst nightmare. So, okay, that's enough about 2025. No one cares that much. We'll move on to 2026, and you'll notice some similar themes, maybe some of the same goals. I did break this into tangible and intangible goals. And I would say, so I've pared down my list a bit, which I think will be helpful. I probably won't forget all the goals that I set, like I kind of did last year. So to start, my tangible goals, I have continue to meditate twice a day. And I would like to lengthen the amount of, or the time that I do the meditation for. Next, I want to do a journal practice once a week. So this could be like morning pages, goal setting, journaling, just writing about my day. I don't know, I do it very sparsely, and I would like it to be more of a consistent thing. Next is set phone limits and don't ignore them. You know, I made this list a few days ago, and I'm like, I should start these kind of early, like I should start getting into these, and I've still been bad with the phone limits. So I really need to do better. Okay, next. Read every day before bed. I've been doing this recently, and I think that's a decently easy goal for me. And by setting that goal, like, that'll help me choose that over deciding to look at my phone instead before bed out of like laziness. Okay, next. Twice a week strength routine. This is kind of a continuation. Next is post weekly on YouTube. I'm willing to let that change depending on how it goes, but I do want to be somewhat consistent, at least, we'll say. Next is some decluttering I would like to do. A digital declutter, closet, garage storage room. Next is this one I'm not sure on, but it might become one of my goals, which is learn how to do wedding makeup. And so I just have to decide whether for my wedding in 2026, do I want to get my makeup done, or do I want to make it a whole thing where I learn how to do it myself and save a lot of money and then get super good at makeup? Maybe. And then my nice to have goal, which I won't be disappointed if I don't do this, since I do have a lot of things going on in 2026, like the aforementioned wedding. Yeah, so I won't be disappointed if I don't do this, but you know, if I'm looking for some other goal, if I'm just hitting all my goals and I'm like, what's next for me? Do a triathlon is on my list. So those are the end of my my tangible goals. Next, I have a few intangible goals. And the first one of these is, I would say, my biggest goal for 2026. I think if I were to just choose one of these goals to focus on that I think would have the greatest impact on my year, it would be this, which is choose optimism over pessimism. And yes, this was a 2025 goal that I ignored. I think this is very important for me. I don't know that I would necessarily call myself a pessimist versus an optimist. I mean, I'm not an optimist usually, but am I a pessimist? I don't know. It depends on the thing. Back in my college running days, I would say when it came to my running goals, I was an optimist. Like, I'd set my goals and I would think that I was sure that I was gonna achieve them, even if they were, you know, pretty, like, quite the reach. Oh, and also with academics, I would say it's the same way. An example of where I'd be a pessimist is, you know, if one of my cats is acting ever so slightly off, like, I think they're gonna die. So there are many situations where choosing optimism over pessimism, it would change my life probably. Because we don't need to be thinking our cats are dying over here for no reason. Okay. And then a few other intangible goals, but really that first one is like the one that I want to keep at the front of my mind, basically at all times and with every decision and thought that I have. The others are good too. So embody the power of now. You read the book, you know what I mean. Just keeping myself in the present as much as possible, only letting myself go to the past and future when I really need to, and trying to not do that like for no reason, which easier said than done. Next is increasing confidence. That's kind of always one of mine, and similar to the optimism versus pessimism thing, like I have confidence in certain areas and then I lack confidence in others, so I should really break that down too, to like how, more specifically, how can I do that, because it is a very like generic sounding goal. And then the last one, which I also kind of need to expand on how I would do this, but get rid of the waiting feeling. You know, everyone probably has this to some extent, like, you know, waiting for the end of the workday, waiting for the weekend, waiting for a trip. I just kind of realized the other day that I have this background kind of like static feeling, like background static, that's just like the feeling of waiting. And I'm not necessarily waiting for anything specific. Like sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm not. I'm like, why do I just, you know, I sit and think and realize, like, why do I just kind of feel like I'm waiting for something and I don't even know what I'm waiting for? I don't know if that's going to resonate with anyone, but yeah, there's just like this background static waiting feeling that I have, and probably getting rid of that would be a good thing for me. So yes, that brings me to the end of all of my goals for the year. I also do a thing where I write themes. I don't know, this helps keep my goals like at the front of my mind, or like it's something to just glance at really quickly. I don't want to read my list of goals every single day, but like I can glance at these themes or remember them and just keep them in my mind. Like these are what I want the themes of my year to be. What I put as my themes are optimism, the power of now, confidence, perspective, calm, and creativity. And then to just pick one for like a word of the year, I kind of said this before, but optimism is going to be the thing that I am going to try to focus on the most. So yes, those are my goals. Let me know if you have questions about any of them or want me to expand on anything goal setting wise. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that for now, but time to continue on with my evening routine.